Coherence is not Donald Trump's strong suit. One day he hates foreign workers, next day he loves them. One day he's slapping tariffs on India, the next day he's showering praises. Tonight we decode what Trump's changing statements mean for India. Also on the show, it's a showdown between the AI giants. OpenAI's ChatGPT is falling behind Anthropic's Claude, which has just broken even. The latest from the Delhi blast investigation, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has visited the injured. Tensions are rising in the Caribbean as US and Venezuelan forces face off. In the Red Sea, the Houthis have stopped their attacks, but this may just be a temporary pause. We'll tell you why. In the UK, is Prime Minister Keir Starmer facing a coup? How pollution in New Delhi is getting worse. In Turkey, President Erdogan is trying to neutralize a political challenger by filing over 140 cases against him. And in Egypt, how museums are losing money over missing artifacts. Also, how solar flares disrupted radio signals across Africa and Europe. But first, the headlines.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky calls on his justice and energy ministers to resign over corruption scandal in the country's war-battered energy sector. The justice minister has been suspended and 5 people have been detained as part of a graft investigation involving alleged kickbacks worth around $100 million in the energy sector. Russia loses a legal bid at Australia's High Court to build a new embassy less than a kilometre from the country's parliament. Moscow was granted a 99-year lease in 2008, but it was revoked in 2023. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese at the time had said the government had received security advice from Canberra's spy agency on the risk of a new Russian presence so close to Parliament House. Cambodia and Thailand trade accusations of fresh clashes along their border. Phnom Penh says one civilian has been shot dead in hostilities which have flared after Bangkok paused the implementation of a US-backed peace deal. Thailand has said that the decision was taken after a blast from a newly laid landmine injured 4 of its soldiers. Pakistan's National Assembly passes the 27th Constitutional Amendment Bill, which aims to bring sweeping changes to the country's judicial system and the military's command structure. The ruckus-filled session was attended by Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif, PMLN President Nawaz Sharif and PPP Chairman Bilawal Bhutto Zardari. The bill will now be referred back to the Senate for the new amendments to be debated upon. And the UN nuclear watchdog urges Iran to allow it to verify its inventories of enriched uranium. Relations between Tehran and the International Atomic Energy Agency have been strained since a 12-day war in June which saw Israeli and US strikes on key Iranian nuclear facilities. Nuclear talks between Iran and world powers are also currently stalled.
There's a war brewing in the Caribbean. On one side, the lethal American military. On the other, a desperate Venezuelan army. The guns are in place, the warships are moving in. All that's left is to pull the trigger. The question is, will US President Donald Trump do it? And we can tell you the indications are not good. Yesterday, an American warship sailed into the Caribbean, and it's not just any other warship. It's the largest and most advanced carrier in the world. The USS Gerald Ford, 100,000 tons of lethal firepower. This ship was supposed to be in the Mediterranean, but the US cut short its deployment. Instead, it was rerouted to the Caribbean. Experts say this is a strange decision for the US military because these are not nimble vessels. These are floating islands. They sail with a lot of firepower and support. Take a look at this. 5,500 soldiers, 75 attack and surveillance aircraft, which includes FA-18 fighter jets, and 5 missile-guided naval destroyers. This is what the Gerald Ford is bringing to the Caribbean. A lot of additional firepower is already there. There are 10,000 US soldiers in the region. Around half of them are in Puerto Rico. This is an overseas US territory. It's around 800 kilometers from Venezuela. Back in September, the US military had reopened a base on this island. So clearly, they were planning to mobilize. Other than the Gerald Ford, the US has 9 warships in the Caribbean: amphibious assault ship Iwo Jima, transport dock San Antonio, destroyer Jason Dunham, destroyer Stockdale, destroyer Gravely, missile cruiser Lake Erie, missile cruiser Gettysburg, combat ship Wichita, and nuclear submarine Newport News. Plus, you have the air assets, the B-52 strategic bombers, the B-1B supersonic bombers, the F-35 fighter jet, and the MQ-9 Reaper drones. All of these assets are deployed in the Caribbean. Now, I could detail each of these weapons, but I'm sure you get the idea. You don't order this kind of firepower for no reason. You're either preparing for war or you're hoping to scare the opposition into submission. So which is it? In public, the other side is not acting scared. Yesterday, Venezuela staged a military drill. Their defense minister promised to protect the homeland.